But one thing is, you have volunteered to testify at the trial, correct?
Not as of yet. Actually, I was subpoenaed.
Okay.
So my attorneys worked something out. So I believe when the time is right, I'm going to discuss it with my attorneys.
But you're willing to?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
On the second day of her emotional testimony, Cassandra Ventura, better known to the world as Cassie, took the witness stand again. But this wasn't just another day in court. This was a day filled with raw emotion, disturbing allegations, and shocking revelations about her past relationship with music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. What unfolded inside that courtroom left everyone stunned, from the jury to the public. Allegations of rape, violent abuse, celebrity feuds, and secret settlements were laid bare. But that's just the beginning. Cassie, now heavily pregnant with her third child, sat on the witness stand, recounting years of trauma. Her voice at times cracked with emotion. The courtroom was silent, you could hear a pin drop. Jurors leaned forward, fully focused. The gravity of her words, the emotional weight, it was undeniable. She detailed how, even after breaking off their tumultuous relationship and beginning a new life with her now husband, fitness trainer Alex Fine, Combs allegedly raped her. The timing, according to her, was after their relationship had ended, and she had already begun dating Alex. She described their time together as toxic and unstable, with many breaks during which she dated other people. One of those people was the rapper Kid Cudi, and this is where the story takes a startling turn. According to Cassie, Diddy's jealousy knew no bounds. She claimed that after learning of her relationship with Kid Cudi, Diddy blew up the rapper's car. Now, to be clear, there is no confirmed public evidence directly linking Diddy to the incident. However, Kid Cudi previously told the New York Times that his car did indeed explode in his driveway. That admission aligns with Cassie's claims and raises serious questions. Could Kid Cudi take the stand as a witness in this trial? It's possible. His testimony could potentially corroborate Cassie's version of events and escalate the case dramatically. The emotional contrast between the two was stark. Cassie, visibly distressed, cried throughout parts of her testimony. Combs, on the other hand, remained stoic. No smiles, no frowns. Just cold, calculated stillness. But observers noted how closely he watched the jury. He looked over at them several times, likely trying to read the room. His demeanor shifted only when entering or leaving the courtroom. At those moments, he greeted his lawyers warmly, sometimes smiling at family members, blowing kisses, even forming heart signs with his hands. It's clear he's trying to appear calm, collected, even affectionate. But inside that courtroom, it's a high-stakes war of words and emotions. One of the most disturbing elements of Cassie's testimony revolves around what she described as freak-offs, alleged group sex events that she says Combs forced her to participate in, often involving escorts and sometimes happening under the influence of heavy drugs like ketamine. 7 still images from these events were shown to the jury. These images have been entered into evidence, meaning jurors, attorneys, and the judge can view them. However, the public and press are barred from seeing them. Why? Because the content reportedly includes nudity, possible victims, and alleged illegal activity. Media outlets have pushed hard for access to these images under the First Amendment. Some have even hired attorneys to make their case. Surprisingly, both the prosecution and the defense are united on this one point: they want to protect the privacy of individuals involved. Their fear, if these images leak, they'll end up on social media, potentially traumatizing alleged victims and derailing the trial. Meanwhile, the jury sat in silence as they viewed the images on individual privacy-screened monitors, locked in, disturbed, curious. Cassie's cross-examination began after the prosecution concluded their direct questioning, and while this is the defense's chance to poke holes in her testimony, they're proceeding cautiously. Why? Cassie is in her 3rd trimester, visibly pregnant, and grilling a pregnant woman who alleges rape and abuse can backfire, especially in front of a jury. That's why Combs' legal team strategically chose one of his female attorneys to handle the cross-examination. And she's been gentle, perhaps even disarming. At one point, the attorney complimented Cassie, saying, "You're charming, you're beautiful." The overflow room, filled with reporters and members of the public, reacted with surprise. Some laughed lightly. Cassie herself giggled and thanked the attorney. But underneath the soft tone is a carefully planned legal strategy. They are slowly presenting text messages dating back to as early as 2007, when Cassie and Combs first began dating. These messages, the defense argues, paint a more nuanced picture of their relationship, one that may contradict the image of constant abuse. The defense showed messages where Combs referred to Cassie, lovingly calling her his queen and encouraging her to be her best self. These messages, they argue, don't align with Cassie's earlier claims that Combs constantly tore her down emotionally. They even introduced a text message where Combs asked her whether she was menstruating, something they say contradicts her testimony that he forced her to participate in group sex even during her period. The goal here is clear: create reasonable doubt. But prosecutors aren't done. After cross-examination, they'll have the opportunity to conduct redirect, giving them a chance to clarify and reinforce Cassie's testimony. That means Cassie could remain on the stand for several more days. The trial is still in its early stages, less than a week in, but already it's clear that the road ahead will be long, messy, and unpredictable. The entire trial is expected to last 2 months, and with every day, new twists are emerging. We've already heard about how Cassie was allegedly slammed into a bed frame so violently that she required plastic surgery for a gash on her head. We've heard about bruises, drug addiction, and even suicidal thoughts. Cassie recounted how, after the alleged rape, she was so emotionally broken that she wanted to walk into traffic and end her life. Her husband, Alex Fine, reportedly stopped her just in time. Cassie also spoke about the civil suit she filed in 2023. At the time, she had written the beginnings of a memoir with her mother. In it, she documented the trauma she endured during her relationship with Combs. She gave it to him, hoping he would understand her pain. Instead, she claims he refused to read it. Cassie allegedly asked him to pay $30 million in exchange for not publishing the book. When he declined, she filed a civil suit. Until now, the exact settlement amount had remained a secret. But during her testimony, Cassie revealed that they settled the lawsuit for $20 million, a massive figure that underscores the gravity of the allegations. One of the most pressing logistical concerns is Cassie's pregnancy. She could give birth any day now. Prosecutors are concerned that if she goes into labor while still testifying, it could jeopardize the timeline of the trial. Will there be a delay? A mistrial? Will she return to the stand after childbirth? Even the judge has voiced concern, saying he hoped the trial would not stretch into the following week. But Combs' lead attorney responded by reminding the court, the defense has every right to a thorough cross-examination. There's still a long way to go. New witnesses could be called, including celebrities like Kid Cudi and possibly others Cassie dated. During jury selection, names like Michael B. Jordan were floated. And she mentioned parties that included people like Britney Spears and music executive Tommy Mottola, though it's highly unlikely they'll appear in court. Still, anything is possible. The defense and prosecution are locked in a high-stakes legal chess match. Both have elite legal teams, both are experienced, and both are determined to win. At the center of it all is a woman reliving years of alleged trauma while carrying her third child. Her bravery in coming forward, regardless of where the case ultimately lands, is drawing widespread attention. This trial is far from over, and as more details emerge, the public, the media, and the entertainment world are watching closely. Will justice be served? Or will this become yet another story of power, silence, and unresolved pain? Only time and the jury will tell.